What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin Benson, and you guys blew up my last reaction video. I just posted a BTS reaction video. It was my first time reacting to BTS in my life, and it got over 1,000 views within the first couple of hours. So shout out to the army, you guys are amazing. A lot of you guys were telling me to watch The Most Beautiful Life Goes On, a story of BTS. This is from the Asian Theory, so this doesn't belong to me, but I decided to go ahead and react to this first before I do any of the other requests that was totally crazy on my other video, just because I really want to kind of get foundation of like who they are, how they came to be, so that I can feel even more connected to them within their music. So I'm so excited. This is 30 minutes long, so that's interesting. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Like I always say before, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, a comment down below, a request if you'd like, and as well a subscribe. 3, 2, 1, Lego.
Today, everyone knows the name of BTS. They've been invited onto late night talk shows, they've shattered records, they've sold out stadiums, they've made it onto the big screen. These days, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who didn't know who these guys were, or at least haven't heard one of their songs.
I'm one of those people. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't really know why I've never heard any of their music, because I'm pretty involved into the whole like culture of just music in general, so I'm so confused why I didn't know. Like I heard of them, but I've never heard any of their songs.
And if they don't, either they've been living under a rock or they're 100 years old. The success of the Bangtan Boys is worldwide, but it wasn't always like this.
And it all started with one man.
Okay.
YG. YG wanted to make himself a rap group. In the late 90s, he experimented with this idea with different trainees, eventually choosing 7 members. And while 3 of them eventually left, the remaining 4, Teddy, Danny, Jinhwan, and Baekhyun, debuted in 1998 as One Time. Their first album, titled One for Your Mind, was one of the year's best-selling albums and won several awards, including the Global Disc and SBS Music Awards for Best New Artist and KMTV's Award for Best Hip Hop Artist. The group enjoyed moderate success and released 4 more albums before going on indefinite hiatus in 2006 due to their mandatory military service.
The year was 2010, and the 5-year-old company, Big Hit Entertainment, had previously signed 2 artists, 88 and 2AM. They had their share of successes, but they were very traditional K-pop groups. Big Hit wanted a fresh, new sound, and upon listening to One Time, CEO Hitman Bang Si-hyo had decided that that was the sound that he was looking for. And on top of that, the youth needed someone to relate to, and more importantly, look up to. He had decided he would create a hip-hop group.
Oh, there's a freaking ad coming. Oh, yes. I love it. I understand this person trying to get their money, but I just want to listen. Ooh.
At 15 years old,
15?
Kim Namjoon auditioned for a certain Big Deal Records, which he completely botched, forgetting the lyrics to the song he was performing.
Baby.
Afterwards, fellow rapper Sleepy recommended that he try auditioning at another
Shout out to Sleepy.
Big Hit, and even put in a good word for him to one of the producers.
Oh, okay, wait, this is amazing, because I feel like when you get an opportunity to do something like he got to do, where you're rapping in front of like these big entertainment people and you totally mess up and screw up, the fact that someone went out of their way to like recommend him to a different label and then put in a good word for him, like shout out to that person, because that's not heard of in the music industry, like for real, for real.
Age 16, Kim auditioned in front of Bang Si-hyo himself and instantly impressed him. He was offered a deal with Big Hit on the spot, which Kim accepted and became a trainee, officially choosing a name for himself, Rap Monster, destined to become the leader of the newly created group. Now that a fearless leader was chosen, they needed more members.
I'm just so excited.
Min Young-gi was a 17-year-old living in Daegu, an avid basketball player and rapper. He had been interested in music, especially rap, from a very early age. And despite his parents' disapproval, started performing as a rapper while still in high school. He quickly gained attention as a rapper and producer in the underground hip-hop scene.
Okay, I didn't know that like hip-hop music was such like a thing like over there. I didn't know that. I mean, hip-hop is like a genre that a lot of people love to like listen to, but I just didn't think it was like that like hit like that many people were like doing hip hop over there. That's so amazing. And just he mentioned before that his family didn't approve it. Like that's really hard, because even like with me trying to pursue like my own music, sometimes like my family don't get it. And shout out to him for just like keep going. Like that's so hard, especially when your family doesn't back you up. And he was 17. Also, he was playing basketball. So we love a talented king. I'm just saying, we love a talented king.
One day he saw a flyer for a rap competition called Hit It and decided to participate. Wow. And although he only placed second, the company hosting the competition, you guessed it, Big Hit, decided to sign him on as a producer.
Oh my god.
Hitman Bang spoke with him afterwards, convincing him to join a newly created hip-hop group. He told him to just focus on rapping and assured him that he wouldn't need to dance. He was lying. And just like that, the new group had a second member, known as Sugar. A combination of the first two syllables of shooting guard, his favorite position in basketball. But they wouldn't stop there. Rappers were nice, but Big Hit
this is so interesting.
A dancer.
Yes.
Jung Ho-seo.
Hey.
Always loved
dancing.
Young? He was in the starting lineup of the dance crew Neuron in his hometown, Gwangju. He was good at it too, winning several local championships and even winning a championship at the national level in 2008. When he decided to audition for JYP Entertainment though, after a few rounds of auditions, he was cut. Fortunately, he didn't give up and went to his second option,
I feel like a lot of the story of BTS so far has been people who have so much talent and have gone out of their way to pursue their dreams and have faced so many hardships, but they have not given up. I feel like they keep chasing their dreams, and I think that's what BTS, I think that's why ultimately BTS got to where they got to, was the fact that they kept chasing their dreams and they didn't give up. That's such like that's such a inspiring story. That's awesome. Okay, let's keep going.
An instant favorite, and he was signed on as J-Hope. Not only that, but they saw potential in him to become a rapper, which at this point he had little experience with. However, J-Hope quickly felt that he wasn't a good fit and decided to leave Big Hit until RM convinced both J-Hope and Big Hit that the group wouldn't be complete without him. He was right.
근데 형 항상
Wow, that was like such realness. Like the fact that they fought for him after he thought he wouldn't be a good fit in the group. They're so sweet. Like, people have this assumption that boy bands are kind of cocky and like they think they're all that, but like I'm getting such humble and genuine vibes from them. Like they just truly and genuinely wanted to be a band and they wanted to fight for each other and fight for their dreams. Like I hope I don't cry because I'm just getting okay, let's keep going because all right, let's just keep going.
J-Hope, the rap line was complete. Now they needed some singers. Now, just like how RM, an amazing rapper with a ton of experience, was chosen as the first official member of the rap line, it would only make sense that a legendary singer and dancer would be the perfect first member of the vocal line. Right?
Yes.
But Kim Seok-jin didn't have any sort of experience like that. Believe it or not, one day when he was walking on the streets of his hometown, Anyang, he was approached by a representative of SM Entertainment with an offer to work for the company. In typical Jin fashion, he never
Honestly,
followed up with it.
I wonder why
he be a scam.
That's so
Apparently,
random.
Jin
He was just walking down the walkway and someone stopped him. Like, why did they stop him? Was it because of the way he looked? What was he doing that caused them interest? That's definitely interesting. Honestly, that would be me too. Like, if someone came out to me and like, we want to sign you, we want to put you on this label with like, I'd be like, sure, and then never call back. So.
Very good looking guy, because years later, this time as a college student in Seoul, he was once again approached on the street. This time by an executive at Big Hit Entertainment.
Shout out to Big Hit. They really got all the talent.
He didn't sing, he didn't dance. He was at school to become an actor, and he decided to audition to become an actor. Big Hit, however, had different plans for him, and convinced him to become a vocalist for their new group. To do so, he literally learned to dance and sing starting from zero, but thankfully, not without help from other vocalists.
What? So we get people we got rappers who know how to rap, we got you know, our rap line, and then we're trying to establish our singing line, and we find someone who is literally probably the most normal person you could really think of when it comes to like life, and he's just living his life. He's going to college. He wants to be an actor, and he's, I guess from what the documentary is saying, he's so good looking that people were trying to get him onto their label and stuff. Dang, you must be real good looking for that. Because ain't nobody telling me, hey, we want you to come on our label. I must look ugly as hell. But anyway, the fact that he did not know singing or dancing and learned it, props to him. Because there's not one single person in BTS where I'm like, that person is a little bit under than the other people. They're like really, they match each other really, really well. Wow. Oh my God, this bae. Oh,
Jung
I couldn't
Kook
breathe.
initially had dreams of becoming a badminton player when he was young.
What?
But after seeing G-Dragon perform Heartbreaker on television, it influenced him to want to become a singer instead. Because of this, at only age 14, he decided to audition for the South Korean
14? Huh? Yo, when I was 14, I was playing with sticks. So, obviously my talent was limited.
talent show, Superstar K. He didn't pass auditions, but this was just enough to catch the eye of not one company, not two companies, but 7 different companies. This included
Okay, if he didn't like make it, why he get 7 different companies trying to get on him? That's because he's talented.
So whoever didn't want him, you're stupid. You're stupid. You're big stupid.
JYP, FNC, Woollim, Starship Entertainment, TS, Cube, and of
Dang.
course, Big Hit Entertainment. So why did Jungkook, given the choice of all these bigger companies, decide to go with the relatively smaller company?
Yeah,
Big Hit?
why?
The answer was simple. Because he thought, and I quote, RM was cool, so I wanted to sign with them. That brings
That's
the number
right.
of members to 5. The next member of
Okay, I got
BTS
5.
was just as surprised to find Big Hit as Big Hit was to find him, and it almost didn't happen.
Oh no. Who? He's the one, okay, hold on. He's the one that I'm really interested in right now, just because I feel like I didn't give him enough credit in the Dynamite video. So I'm really interested to figure out like his story.
Kim Tae-young was always passionate about music, and it was always his dream to pursue it as a career. However, it was hard, as his family was
Yeah.
poor, his parents being humble farmers. His
my
father told him
God.
that if he was passionate about music, he should learn an instrument, and he did.
Shout out to dad. Shout out to dad for supporting his son's dream and not being that parent that tells their kid you can't do it. Oh my God. Mad. I'm happy, but I'm mad because parents should not tell their children that.
Spending 3 years practicing with the saxophone. One day, one of his friends decided to audition for Big Hit Entertainment when they were holding auditions in his hometown of Daegu. Taeyoung, being a good friend, came with him to keep him company. But when one of the team members in charge of the audition saw Taeyoung, he encouraged him to audition as well. With nothing to lose, he did. That day, he was the only one in Daegu to move on to the next round of auditions, and eventually
Yes.
became a trainee for
Talented.
Big Hit Entertainment. They decided to keep him as a surprise member and didn't want to reveal him as one of the members until his debut. In the same vein, Big Hit had him choose something mysterious for his stage name. He decided to go with V for victory. Here seems like a nice round number to stop, right? 6 members
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. He said V for victory because he grew up on a freaking farm and now look where he is. Oh my freaking God.
for a new hip-hop group. 3 rappers and 3 vocalists. It seems like a complete group, but
Be
still
that one.
there was
Who is
something
it?
missing.
That's special.
One was missing.
Is it my
Someone that could
angel
take this
like?
already great group of artists
Is
and
it
push
my
even
angel?
further to achieve perfection. A powerhouse. Someone so naturally talented that they could stand out in a room full of already talented
I'm gonna
artists.
cry.
This project
Yes.
that Big Hit had embarked upon needed a capstone.
A capstone. Who's our cap? Oh my God.
Park Jimin was a naturally talented dancer. When he was in middle
Yes.
school, he attended a dance academy and continued to pursue dance at Busan High School of Arts, where he studied contemporary dance and was the top student in the whole modern dance department.
Oh my
Impressed by
gosh.
his raw talent, a
Look
teacher
at his
encouraged him to
legs.
audition for Big Hit Entertainment, who were holding auditions in Busan. He was only 16 when he passed the audition and moved to Seoul to become a trainee. He was the final member of the group, and he also had the shortest training period.
Oh my God.
What's interesting to
dang.
note is that the group feels very much ragtag because in a sense, with the exception of Jimin, it was. RM and J-Hope only auditioned for Big Hit because they didn't pass their auditions with the first company they chose. And despite their amazing talent, Suga and Jungkook didn't win the competitions they were in, but they signed on to Big Hit after the fact because of their high quality performances. V never even planned on auditioning and just decided to do it on a whim. And they literally just found Jin on the streets. But perhaps it was fate, because this was the group that they chose. And just like that, in 2012, the newly created Bangtanso년dan, the Bulletproof Boy Scouts, or simply BTS.
Yay! Oh my god, I feel like that really did sum up like how they came to be. Wow. Oh my god. I'm so excited. This is so good.
저도 아침에 리허설 때 이거 보고 많이 웃었습니다.
They had the group, but they still needed the music.
Right.
In early 2013, they set out to create some social media presence for themselves before officially debuting, posting song covers on both SoundCloud and YouTube, which you can still go watch today.
In May, Big Hit launched a countdown clock on their website in preparation for BTS's debut album, complete with a trailer and a ton of promotional material, including photos for the first time of all the members in the official lineup. Finally, the big day came. June 12, 2013, BTS held a press conference and a debut showcase where they performed their two singles, No More Dream and We Are Bulletproof Part 2.
Wow, those outfits.
The same day, the Too Cool for School album,
Oh
as
my
well as the
God.
music video for No More Dream, were released. The very next day, BTS performed the song again on their official debut stage on Mnet's
Oh my
M
god,
Countdown.
this song. I'm overwhelmed.
This was
I'm
the
overwhelmed.
world's first taste of BTS.
Don't do that to me right
Commercially,
now.
The album didn't do extraordinarily well. The lead single, No More Dream, peaked at 124 in Korea, and the album sold only 24,000
Are you kidding
copies
me?
during its first year. Bulletproof Part 2 didn't even chart. The first year
What?
wasn't all that great for BTS, but despite everything, people saw them.
How not? Oh my god, I hate these ads. Okay.
People saw the sparkle in their eyes and their limitless potential. And they were hot, of course. On July 9th,
Yeah.
ARMY was established as
Yeah.
BTS's official fandom. They made their comeback only 2 months later in September when they released their single, No, along with their EP, part 2 of what would be their school trilogy, Oh, Are You Late 2. In the music video for the single, they made a commentary on the harsh Korean education system, along with their previous themes of hopes and dreams. No peaked at 9.
This is real music. Talk about things that matter to you. And the fact that they're talking about the Korean education and their personal experiences makes their music stand out amongst like all the other stuff.
92 in Korea, but also quickly fell off the charts. The album debuted at number 4 on the Gaon Weekly chart and was the 55th best-selling album in South Korea that year. This was enough to secure them the coveted New Artist of the Year award at the
Yes.
Melon Music Awards, the Golden Disc Awards, and the Seoul
Yes,
Music
boys.
Awards. Part 3 of the School Trilogy was released in February of 2014, the EP School Love Affair. This time, the lead single
They're so
was
cute.
Boy in Love.
Oh my god, that sounds very rock. Like very, very rock. Holy cow.
And the other single being Just One Day. The album, as well as both singles, enjoyed moderate success, with the album topping the Gaon
still
album
jamming.
chart, as well as making its first international appearance at number 3 on the Billboard World Albums chart. The album also
Yes.
marked their first distinctive change in theme, focusing more on school life and young love, as evidenced by their Boy in Love music video. They
That
also
makes
held
sense.
their first fan
Like I feel like that's a good change for them because I feel like their fan base is generally younger. So for them to focus on school and like love and all that stuff, I feel like that definitely helped them in the beginning because they were starting to, I feel like the fans were starting to relate a little bit more to their music. So, I mean, not that they didn't before, but I feel like more people could.
meetings with a crowd of 3,000 in Seoul. BTS was doing
They're
well.
so cute.
That is, until
Oh, no.
July.
No,
this
no,
is
no.
unfortunately a dark chapter in the lives of BTS and ARMY. That's right, American Hustle Life. I'm joking, of course, but American Hustle Life was a reality show put
It
together by
still
Mnet
is.
that brought
Wait,
BTS
what?
to Los Angeles, where they had the unique opportunity to learn the true ways
See-
of hip-hop from the masters.
This is where they went wrong, I feel like, because America sucks at everything. Like honestly, why would you come to Los Angeles to learn? Just because and I'm not saying anything against the boys. I just think America just ruins everything. So I'm not surprised that this is one of their darkest moments. But let's keep going to figure out why.
And it was a pretty darn cringy opportunity, but an opportunity nonetheless.
Who is
Whatever
that?
You just don't watch the Warren G version of Boy in Love. You've been warned. However, cringe and all, the trip proved fruitful for BTS, making connections, performing their first US concert for free in front of 200 fans, as well as their first appearance at KCON. The next month, in August, BTS released their first full-length studio album, Dark and Wild. The album featured 2 singles, Danger
Oh my god, you're joking.
and War of Hormones. The album featured a marked shift in sound with a touch of R&B and electronica. It was met with moderate success. It peaked at number 2 in Korea, selling over 200,000 albums. In October and again in May of the following year, BTS went on their first and second concert tours, known as the Red Bullet Tour, where they visited 13 different countries, including Japan, the Philippines, Australia, the US, Mexico, and many others. They also came out with their first Japanese album in December, Wake Up, featuring many Japanese versions of their songs as well as original tracks Wake Up.
I just want to say real fast so far, I love this because it's telling me that these boys did not get handouts. They did not get handouts. They worked so hard to get to where they are. That's what I love about this. Wow.
And the Stars, followed by a Japan tour and a solo concert in Korea.
Okay, hey, ho, hey.
Although
Oh my
Dark
God.
and Wild got decent attention, they needed something different. They needed something that would shake things up.
Yeah,
They got to work.
let's go.
April 29, 2015 was their comeback. When
Come
this album
on.
was produced, each member had a hand in writing songs for the album.
That's
They
right.
again changed their sound from aggressive hip-hop to
Oh my
youthful, colorful styles. And not only their sound, but their image as well. This can be evidenced by their newest EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. And just by looking at the album cover, they ditched the dark colors and the bulletproof vest symbol that had become so synonymous with BTS. And
I think this is a great move for them just because as an artist, I feel like you go through so much life and I feel like you need to be reflecting that within your music. So the fact that they're reflecting that within their music is a really, really a great thing. And they can change so much and their sounds are never the same. Like, oh my God.
replaced it with a simple white and pink background overlaid with the title. And then they dropped the single that would change everything.
Oh my God, what was
I
it?
Need You. It was sentimental. It was hopeful. It was
Is there
new.
guitar?
Just by looking
Oh
at the
my
music
God, I'm
video,
gonna
you can see that
cry.
BTS has also ditched their punk bad boy image and replaced it with a more real, vulnerable, down-to-earth, and youthful feel. This proved to be the change that BTS needed for mainstream success. Billboard called it one of the greatest K-pop songs of the decade. It charted at number 5 in Korea and even led them to their first music show win on SBS MTV's The Show. And that wasn't all.
Look
They
at those
released their
shorts.
second single, Dope, on June
Dope.
24th.
Oh my
which
God,
started
I was
off
so
with a
close to
poignant
crying
line
just
from
now.
RM.
어서 와. 방탄은 처음이지?
Welcome. Is this your first time with BTS? And you know what? For a lot of people,
I'm so glad he just translated that because I just realized my captions were off because the narrator is in English. Woo!
it was. In a way, their first studio album and tour can be seen as their stepping stone between old school BTS and new school. In November, they came back with their follow-up EP, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Part 2, the second EP in what would be dubbed the Youth
He said
Trilogy,
you didn't
which
shave
featured the single
perfectly.
Run.
Run, run, run.
The album focused even more on the frivolity, friendship, and carefree attitude that comes with enjoying one's youth. But just like in I Need You, contrasted that with suffering, depression, loneliness, society, and this dark and sometimes
I can't do the deepness. Oh.
yourself proved that they weren't done yet, not even close. During this time, they shattered countless records. Their singles went platinum, they topped charts, they won awards. And not only did they break YouTube records, but they broke records that they themselves set
Wow.
again and again
Who?
and again.
What artists you hear about breaking records that they set? None.
The period where BTS really started enjoying global recognition, working with huge Western artists such as Nicki Minaj, Designer, and Steve Aoki. It wasn't their first time having international features on their songs, but it was definitely the biggest. And even though they were already, without a doubt, the biggest act to ever come out of South Korea, they had their eyes set
Those are
even
big
higher.
stadiums, bro.
They went on tour once again for the Love Yourself World Tour. During this tour, they collaborated with Steve Aoki to make the song Wasted on Me.
Hey.
Notable for being their first all-English feature. And it
Okay.
also served as a jumping-off point for BTS to gain a following of English speakers.
Oh.
Not that they were Map of the Soul persona. First things first, you can't mention Map of the Soul Persona without mentioning Boy With Love. It was simple math. What do you get when you cross the singer of one of the best charting songs of all time that went platinum 59 times in 13 different countries with, without a question, the most globally dominant pop group of all time? Well, you get this. Nothing less than an instant hit. Number 8 on Billboard Hot 100, platinum in the US, 21 music show wins, number 1 on iTunes in 67 different countries, the most liked and the most viewed YouTube video.
Okay, so this definitely was the one that put them on the map on America. I correct myself.
24 hours, the fastest video to reach 100 million views, a current view count of over 1 billion views.
Oh my god.
7 boys, 1 girl, and 7 different hair colors. They were the talk of the town, invited to talk show after talk show.
Yeah,
after
this
talk
is the
show.
one that got
the second
them.
single
Okay.
on the album was "Make It Right." Written by Ed Sheeran himself.
You're joking!
Including a version featuring Lau. The album debuted at number 1 on Gaon and sold 3.2 million copies its first month, and that's only in Korea. It became the best-selling album in South Korea ever. It swept every major Korean music show, winning Album of the Year in each one of them. They followed up this legendary EP with the Love Yourself, Speak Yourself World Tour, where they sold out both the Rose Bowl and the Wembley Stadium in only an hour. The only non-English
How? Oh my god. There's so much going on right now. I don't even know how to take in the information. All I hear is success.
act to do so. They even performed as a solo act in Saudi Arabia, the first foreign act to do that.
What the heck?
Last stop of their tour was at South Korea's largest venue, the Seoul Olympic Stadium. They ended up grossing $200 million. During this time, they also created a visual novel style game for mobile devices called BTS World, where the player can interact with the members. This also came with an original soundtrack with tracks unique to the game featuring Western artists. Zara Larsson, Charlie XCX, and Juice WRLD for the tracks.
I'm seeing them collaborate with a whole lot of like really well-known artists, so that's amazing. That's so cool.
Brand New Day, Dream Glow, and All Night, respectively. In December of 2019, the group swept the grand prizes for both the
Is that a
Melon
Grammy?
and
Oh my
Mnet
God, I got
Music Award
excited.
shows, the first artist to do that. Map of the Soul Persona was legendary, truly a marvel in modern music.
So, how could BTS follow up the best-selling album in South Korean history,
question.
you may ask?
Easy. Make an even better selling album. And that's what they did with Map of the Soul 7. The album was released on February 21st of 2020, featuring the singles Black Swan.
A lot of people requested this. Okay.
And On.
Is that Angel? Oh my god.
And sold over 4.1 million albums in just the first week. And the first Korean
Not
album to be
surprised,
certified
not
as quadruple
surprised.
million on the Gaon Music Chart.
Success.
It debuted at number 1 on music charts all over the world, including the US, Korea, the UK, Japan, and much of Europe. It's not an exaggeration to say that this album left a permanent mark on the world, launching BTS into legendary status and becoming the best-selling artist in South Korean history. BTS had scheduled a Map of the Soul tour for April of that year, which would have undoubtedly outsold their record-breaking tour only a year prior. But unfortunately, the COVID pandemic caused the entire tour to be postponed.
Are you joking?
Including the
Okay,
show.
I was mad at COVID, but now I'm more mad. Screw COVID. You ruined. Oh my god. I gotta take a second. You stupid virus. Who the frick do you think you are coming in ruining the boys' success?
At the Rose Bowl, which I was supposed to attend, but that didn't stop BTS.
That's
who performed
right.
virtual concerts, spoke at the Dear Class of 2020
right.
graduation event, and released the Japanese version of their recent album with an original Japanese single, Stay Gold. And to top it all off, this was only June. At this point,
Is this
it was
2020
clear that BTS
music?
had already dominated their home chart, and they had topped the music charts all over the world. This time, their sight was set for the
We're
very
hitting
top.
global status.
Remember that scene in The Social Network where Mark and Sean talk about how they don't want $1 million, they want $1 billion.
Amen.
How they're not interested in catching 14 trout, but they'd rather catch an 800-pound
Amen.
marlin? Well, that's what they set their sights on. The marlin, the biggest music industry in the world, the United States.
Amen.
And at the top of that music
am I saying
industry,
amen?
number 1 on Billboard Hot 100.
Woo!
This small group from a company that virtually no one had heard about 8 years ago planned to
8
take on
years
Goliath
ago.
himself and dominate the American industry on their home turf. And all they had to do was speak English.
I'm a proud mom. Wait,
August
what?
21st. Enter Dynamite.
Stop drinking milk. I just reacted to
Their
this.
first and only English single so far.
That makes sense. You guys said
Simultaneously
that.
better than anyone had expected, but at the same time is exactly what we as an audience had come to expect from the legendary boy band themselves. And they did it. They reached #1 on the US Billboard Hot 100, the Global 200, and the Global Excluding US chart. And they made sure that if you hadn't heard of them before, you definitely have now. And if that wasn't already the biggest flex, on October 2nd, they came out with Savage Love BTS Remix with Jason Derulo.
They did not.
Getting #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 again, less than 2 months after already getting it #1 with Dynamite. And on the Global 200, where they actually replaced themselves at #1, the first artist
When you're
to do
that
so
good.
ever. So what makes BTS so special?
Tell me.
How did they achieve all
Tell
this?
me.
K-pop is a genre that spans for at least 30 years, and there have been hundreds of boy groups and hundreds of girl
Hundreds.
groups. What did BTS do to rise above all of them and break
They
through
never
to
gave
markets
up.
never before seen?
Historically, the boy band industry has been dominated by white English-speaking bands. And the fact that BTS has not only held their own, but blew any sign of competition out of the water on a global scale can be attributed to nothing less than their talent, hard work, and a bit of a 1 in a million miracle. They did it through their
Ain't
own
no miracle.
blood, sweat, and
They
tears,
just
so to
talented.
speak.
Around the world, we see that boy bands have pretty much fallen into obscurity, but BTS is thriving.
That's right.
And though I've stated this all before, it's worth saying again, in contrast to other bands who would sing about romantic relationships with girls and what some would call predictable bubblegum pop tunes, BTS is continuously pushing the envelope and changing their styles. According to an article by Vulture.com, they describe this style as much less a successor of the Backstreet Boys and more of the successors of Michael Jackson, whose choreography and charisma were unprecedented.
Yeah.
While of course there's a lot of love for the
Rain.
angelic
Oh my
vocals
God.
of BTS, rap has also played a very important part in creating their own style. In stark contrast to the typical boy band where every member sings, it's so refreshing when you're in the middle of a song and you hear RM's raw
Yeah,
rapping skills,
that's true.
energy, or Suga's soul put into
Yeah.
every single line. Interestingly enough, at the first glance, it seems that the success of BTS was miraculous, despite not being part of the Big Three.
It was
But
not
can also be argued
miraculous.
that their success was because of their separation from the Big Three.
Yeah.
Their label, Big Hit Entertainment, whose founder emphasizes artistic freedom more than anything
Yeah.
else, allowed them to make their own sound.
Yeah.
And going back to
I'm a
BTS
proud
universe, it's not
mom.
often that a K-pop group does something special with each of their songs and
Oh
albums.
my God, someone's
utilizing
beating.
strong storytelling that can go beyond simply the song
That's
itself,
right.
but rather interconnected with other songs and even other albums to create one large overarching story. And not only do they
What?
all have their own expertise in performance, but also each of them have had the experience of writing and producing their own music, and they're not afraid to let their style evolve over time. BTS during their debut is such a far cry from Wings era BTS and current day BTS. They also chose to tackle more adult issues instead of simply love and girls. While they definitely didn't have a shortage of those,
Right.
they also cover other very important
Yeah.
issues such as mental health, regret, following your dreams,
Yeah.
hard work, self-love, and many, many,
Yeah.
many others. Add that to the fact that as fans, we can feel the authenticity
That's
of the
so
members
true. They're
themselves.
so-
They seem
they're just-
approachable.
They seem like brothers. They just seem like they actually enjoy each other. So you can tell like they don't hate each other. Low key, like a couple of One Direction moments, I was like, y'all good? Do we need security? You good?
BTS seems like there's a place for every type of fan. And in this fast-paced world where things change at unthinkable speeds, BTS has stayed grounded and faithful to who they were and who they are. Those kids we saw on American Hustle Life, along with their dreams and passions, are the same men who stand before us today. And while some artists like to keep their personal lives private, BTS gives us a look at their personal lives through their vlogs, which allows us
They
to become
have
more connected
vlogs!
to them than ever.
We're almost done, guys.
What is truly amazing is that, with the exception of just one single, they're doing this all while singing in their native tongue,
Right.
Korean. Their music holds so much power that it literally breaks through the
That's
barriers
so
of
true.
language. And no, they're not done yet. Today,
they're not.
November 20th, they're releasing their 5th studio album, B.
Huh?
Their singles on the album, Dynamite and
Oh my
Life Goes On.
God.
And chances are, life will go on for BTS. And chances are they'll continue to break even more records. They've shown that they're capable of dominating music
so
charts
much to
across the
react
world
to.
and even reaching across the Pacific Ocean and conquering the music industry in the United States. What's next for them?
What's next?
Mars? In any case,
Basically.
they've only started in 2013 and BTS is as strong as it's ever been. As far as we know, they will only continue to light it up like a dynamite.
Okay, cheesy, but I like it. Shout out to the Asian Theory. You killed this, bro. You killed this. Let me stop the recording. Hold on, guys. It's gonna take up a lot of space on my computer. All right, whew, 30 minutes later, and I am somewhat caught up for the most part. The biggest thing I got from this documentary, guys, was that these boys have worked so hard. It was not a handout. It was not something that they just were like, oh yeah, we're this good, we're gonna be famous. They worked beyond hard, and to see where they are now is so amazing. And the fact that they are so humble and remain grounded is admirable, and I respect that 1000%. And I think after watching this documentary, I can say that they are more than a boy band. They're more than K-pop. They're more than even their music. And they're a story that inspires so many other people to keep fighting for their dreams, to keep being who they are. And oh my God, do not cry, Caitlin. I'm not gonna cry, I promise, but I've been on the verge of crying for like 5 minutes now. Anyway, thank you guys for like having me react to this. Like, it made me just feel so much like respect for them. And I know the further I go into BTS, I'm gonna just fall down the hole even worse. And I'm just excited. I feel like a proud mom, and these boys deserve all of the success and love, and nothing worse than that. They deserve the best. So anyway, let me stop talking. I've already watched enough. So if you guys like this video, leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Helps me keep making this kind of content. Stay tuned for more BTS reactions, because I have a whole list. There still will be other reactions on this channel, because this isn't going to be like a BTS reaction channel. I wish I could do that, but I do enjoy other music. So if you guys want to stay tuned for all that stuff, you can, and I'll see you next time on the next reaction video. Peace.